We're live.
Hello, and welcome to the Weekly Word. Today is September 26th. It is, in fact, Thursday. I'm Morgan West.
And I'm Rich Parler, welcoming our very special guest, Kim, a.k.a. at Met's Girl.
Hi,
Kim.
Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, Kim.
Hi, I'm a podcaster mainly. I do streaming occasionally, but generally speaking, you can find me on Service Desk, Beholder's Eye, and recently over on LCP D&D, playing some, D&D.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
That sounds like a full schedule.
Always. And as many things like this as I can squeeze in.
That's awesome.
Which is great, I'm very happy you were able to come down.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad we were able to reschedule it. That was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was not a good week for me.
I know, I'm
First time I
sorry.
was supposed to be here, so.
Aww. Well,
but then we had a good Gen Con.
We did. It was very fun.
It was a lot of fun. Your little crisis at the beginning of it there, but then you got that fixed.
Yeah, that was also not fun.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of not fun. But yeah, it's all good.
Yes. All good, and we're here, and now we can do our thing.
Sweet.
All right. So with that said, let's get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So our very first topic is Action Against Hunger fundraiser recap.
Yes.
From this past weekend. Now it went the entire weekend, correct?
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah, it did. I was able to go on, catch it on and off, but then Sunday we did our show, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of debauchery about it.
That's true.
That sounds about right. I didn't catch your show, but
that's okay. So at the
generally streaming there, you know.
I wasn't sure, Morgan, if you were here or if you had left already, but at the end of the night, I turned to my friends who had painted my nails, and I said, "So, who brought the nail polish remover?" And they were like, "Nope." None of really. We didn't know it was part of the deal. I'm like, really? So, the next day on the way to work, I pick up nail polish remover, and I'm at work, taking the nail polish off, sitting just about to go into a meeting.
I love it.
And I'm talking with somebody, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have nail polish on. I have to take it off. This is what I do now."
Wow. That is so
I don't know why you had to take it off. I mean, you could have left it.
I don't know. It's just something about that. I'm not sure what people would have thought. Although it would have been interesting.
It sounds like one of those sociology experiments you hear kids doing in college, where they have to do something crazy and document the responses that they get for it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the real thing is your coworkers have to respond to you doing something abnormal.
Correct. And then you have to record how their response went.
I mean, I would pay to see them respond to you in full vampire goth outfit. That was pretty
Start just showing up.
Amazing. Yeah, it would be really wild. Casual Friday is like a whole nother story.
Casual or vampire, yeah.
He's only wearing his satin on that Friday as opposed
absolutely.
to his crushed velvet.
No,
That's what
the crushed velvet is very
Yeah.
Crushed velvet is very formal. It's definitely a Monday or Wednesday outfit.
Yeah.
So, what did you participate in this weekend?
I didn't get to participate in this particular fundraiser, unfortunately.
Oh.
So I just watched a little bit here and there when I could poke in, but I had a super busy weekend. I was recording for Beholder's Eye, and my son was testing for Taekwondo, and we had guests at church, and yeah, so my weekend was busy outside of the internet.
My daughter just tested her in Taekwondo tonight.
Ooh.
She tested for Bodan.
Bodan? I don't even know what that means.
That's her last belt before black belt candidate.
Ah, okay.
So.
Different schools call them different things, and it's very weird.
Yes, they do.
I don't understand all of the differences, but my son is just beginning, so he's up to, I think he was testing for the third belt, which in our school is orange.
Orange, yes. Very cool. Did he get it?
I assume so. They don't tell you until the week after, but if you don't do it right, they make you redo it, and he didn't have to. So
nice. Well, congratulations.
He's good to go.
Oh, very cool. Congratulations on that. So, Morgan, you want to bring us up to speed on where we ended up for the weekend?
Yeah, so we did really well. I know as a whole, we reached their goal of $1,500, which is
Actually, their
really
goal was
amazing.
only 1,000.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
1,500 was another 50%
that's like a
more.
stretch goal.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. But for the weekly word, our team brought in $272.25.
That's just weird. But yes, that's great. 25 cents.
I don't know. Somebody included a tip or something. Who knows?
I do have to point out, by the way, that there were some people out there commenting negatively on my push-ups. So they were.
Oh my goodness.
And
Uh-oh.
so let me just point out, number one, I was doing them with my legs crossed, right? Which makes them a little bit harder, but also pushes your butt up, unfortunately. And two, you come here and do 120.
Yeah.
All right? I'm good with that. But in all fairness, I will redo half of them.
Oh my goodness.
I will redo half of them with with a flat back, and I'll have someone watch me. So.
All right.
And not count any ones that are bad. So
Wow.
I'm not going to redo them all. I'll redo half.
Why would you? Absolutely.
So.
But yeah, it all in all, it was a great stream.
Jerks.
Did you have a favorite part?
Of our stream?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the little C singing.
Ah, yes, 100%. Little C is always a classic.
Absolutely, It was so awesome.
Yeah.
My landlord watched the show for a little
cool.
bit, right? And she didn't understand. She doesn't know anything about gaming or anything like that. She was talking to me tonight, and she was saying that she's like, I couldn't watch it after a little while. I didn't know that. And she started making the voice. I'm like, oh yeah, that was my sister doing the voice of Little C. So it was too funny.
That is funny.
But it was a lot of fun.
It's
I
always
enjoyed
amusing when you bring someone outside of like the gaming universe into a very internal program or show or stream or anything like that. Smurfy, when she first started watching, had never played D&D before.
Right.
I don't know if she has yet played D&D, but she finds it entertaining. She's learned actually quite a lot from watching the show. So that's
good.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Well, then good. As long as people, a lot of people that don't play, like that watch the show, they've enjoyed the entertainment of the show.
Sure.
Which is pretty cool
Mm-hmm.
because I enjoy the entertainment of the show.
Mm. But speaking of D&D.
Speaking of D&D, moving on
let's
to our
circle it
next.
back.
Okay, we got to circle back. We have a show, unfortunately, to do. So circling back to our next topic is our D&D tip of the week.
Yes.
Which was brought to us by Amber, Queen of Dragons. I like her. She's the nurse, and I saved one of her topics, and we're gonna have it next week, I think. One of her topics, she brings in comments from like the real world when she's talking about D&D or something like that, and
Okay.
she'll put it into she'll talk about it and make a joke out of it on Twitter. So it's pretty funny.
Okay.
But this one's called "Always Be Prepared." Amber says, a few weeks ago, I started leaving a D20 in my car at all times because you never know. And it's been useful exactly 2 times. So in the...
just a few weeks, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how long like you've been needing that D20.
And never
in the
realized
car.
I
it,
didn't
right?
realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just recently, I got to the store on a Wednesday, right? I got to the store right from work because I was running late. And I didn't stop home, and I got there, and I didn't have my dice. Because they're in my computer bag, which is in... I have like 3 different computer bags, and so they were at home. So I only live 5 minutes from the store. So I ran home, I got my dice, I came back. I didn't put them in my computer bag. I leave them in my car now.
Nice. Smart.
Until someone gives me a ride somewhere. Then I'm screwed.
I had a problem recently, also at the store, where I had my backpack, I had everything ready to go, except my folder full of my character sheets, because I
was there that night.
I had been at home updating D&D Beyond. I've never used D&D Beyond. I've never needed to. I like having like a tangible character sheet right there in front of you.
Yes.
I get that.
So I was making a D&D Beyond page for one of my characters, and I left the folder on the table and did not bring it. Oh, I was livid. Oh, it took me about half an hour to drive as quickly as I possibly could back to my apartment, grab the folder, and come back. And I was in my boyfriend's car, so I didn't want to speed too recklessly. I wanted to, but I resisted. But yeah, that was torture. So that's another thing. Is just leave the supplies in the car. You know, like it really does make it like a survival engine. You know,
It is a survival. So, Kim, how are you always prepared?
I usually do my characters in Roll20, actually,
Nice.
or
Yeah.
D&D Beyond, and so as long as I have an internet connection and a device to connect to said internet, I'm good to go.
Have you ever been to a place? I mean, you're in Nebraska, so have you ever been to a place where internet's not there?
Not with gaming involved.
Okay.
Like if there's gaming involved, there is an internet connection at the location.
Got it. Got
So,
it. All right. I've just seen like the internet even go down here, not at the house, but like at the store. It's gone down, and so I was like, oh, I can't get to my character. I'm like, oh well, I guess you're dead.
Yeah, it's funny. D&D is one of those things that open people up to sharing their Wi-Fi. I mean, like for me, I don't just go to somebody's house and be like, let me know your Wi-Fi password. But if I'm going there for D&D, oh no, it's like first 5 minutes, like so. I need that Wi-Fi password.
What's your Wi-Fi?
Yeah, exactly.
Because even if you're not, like, even if you have your physical character sheet, there's inevitably going to be some stupid rule that nobody can flip and remember, and you can't even remember which book that rule is in.
No,
that you have to go look everything up online.
But we're still looking at something. We're still trying to track something down that someone said was like, yeah, no, I read this someplace that I can do it. He wants to shoot his crossbow, then on his bonus action grab a dagger and throw it. And I'm like, and we're reading the rules it just says hand crossbows only, not regular crossbows. And he's like, I read it somewhere. So I'm like, so find it. And now there's 3 of us at the table trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
We haven't found the rule yet. Because it doesn't exist.
Pretty sure that was like a Reddit post or something where somebody was like, hey, guess what my DM let me do?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
I'm guilty of looking up class features. I have a Path of the Ancestral Guardians barbarian who, like, I don't bring all my books with me, so inevitably I'm like, oh shoot. Let me bring up Spirit Shield one more time. Really, at this point, it should be a favorite. But yeah, inevitably there's something that you have to look up, and being able to do it online as opposed to having to flip through all those pages is definitely...
It's true.
It's definitely easier.
Although the last couple of weeks, I have DM'd completely with 0 books.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
And they've had combat, role play, skill tests, and stuff like that. And I've done it completely without any books.
That's awesome.
So
I'm a big fan of just making crap up on the fly, so that like you don't need a book if you're just being like, roll a insight check.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I do. I've been doing a lot of that. If there's a condition, I'll look up a condition, but we haven't needed one yet, so they're still second level. We'll go from there.
The poison comes later.
That's right. They haven't. They don't know the poison yet. Nice.
All right. How about the topic that you brought to us, Kim?
Oh yeah, inspiration. So one of my favorite things to do, I get to tweet from the Welcome to the Party Twitter, and I just get to do the fun stuff, which is great. But one of my favorite things to do is just to find pictures or to find pieces of clothing or like jewelry or weapons or whatever, and being like, who has this? Where did this come from? And those kind of things.
Right.
So, like, what are some of your favorite places to get inspiration for either a character or an item?
I pull from books. I pull a lot from books because I find that books don't follow the norm. They don't follow the rules of D&D. They just follow what the author wants them to do. Whenever an author writes a different book, they come up with new magic systems, new ways of doing magic.
Oh,
and
sure, yeah.
and I like taking aspects of those and putting them into items and
Okay.
characters and
Mm.
characters. Like I have in this world that my players are in on Wednesdays. There's two different types of magic. They only know one. They only know the classic D&D one. However, there's a different type of magic which they'll learn exists, and it will be done differently.
Mm.
Interesting.
So they may or may not be able to learn it. I don't know yet. I haven't figured that part out yet. But it's stuff that I've read. So that's where I get a lot of my inspiration from.
Mm. I also take a lot from books. I have a character I played for a one shot based off of one of the characters from Neil Gaiman's short story, which is still one of my favorite characters that I've gotten to play. Um, as for items, I have a tendency to pull from like as real as it gets. Like, so I like to go old fashioned, like salves and herbs and things like that, and just
Ooh.
pull it into the world. Because if you're not going to be using healing potions, I like the idea of being able to create your own sort of healing salve. Just
Right.
spend the time to make it, if you can find the
Sure.
recipe for it.
Sure. There was we did a tip not too long ago that's relevant here is you can take something from the modern world and put it into your game
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
as a good inspiration, and just change it around. Like we were joking the other day about Uber,
Mm-hmm.
but there's
Mm.
absolutely a carriage and cart service in my game,
Mm.
right?
Very cool.
That they can send a messenger to go get.
Yeah.
The middle and upper class taverns will have somebody who will go get them a carriage if they need it. It's
That's
the same
hilarious.
thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. But I also what I like when I'm watching TV, I take a lot from TV too. To me, TV is like reading a book anyway. But I'll watch a series and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool item. I like what they did there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll take that and I'll try to incorporate it into the game
Mm.
or an effect.
Mm.
I mean the whole sea pod
Sure.
when we were playing.
Mm.
Right? That
Mm.
was just something that I pulled from. I forgot where I pulled it from, but I'm like, oh, that's a great idea.
Mm.
And I stole it and
That's
smushed it
cool.
together.
How about you, Kim? Where do you get your inspiration from?
A lot of those places, like more directly, like for instance, Alavari, my rogue bard tiefling over on LCP that I've been playing. She is directly pulled from a pair of stilettos that on the back
Nice.
of them had a dagger. Like it
Wow.
was some super high fancy whatever. But I saw the picture of those and I was like, you could make those with actual daggers.
That's cool.
I totally have to make a character from this. And so because I saw these really cool stilettos, I then had to go build a character, and then I had to find a place to play her.
That's awesome.
I think in the series The Wu Assassin, one of the characters actually had her stilettos were like daggers.
Hmm.
They were definitely, she used them for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Characters I steal from personalities all the time.
Oh, sure.
Since I listen to audiobooks.
Oh, yeah.
So when I hear a voice of a character I like, I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Mm.
And then I'll try to use them. I'll try to put them together
Mm.
into into the game. That's how I build my characters.
Mm.
And then you do the thing where like you rewind for just a little bit so you can hear that voice again, and you're like, okay, I need to match this tone exactly.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, and it becomes an attitude and it becomes a demeanor, and you have to build it.
I find that one of the other awesome ways that you can find inspiration is just through music. Like, not necessarily the lyrics so much as like the vibe a song brings.
Sure.
Okay.
Like I can't think of an exact example, but often I'll have my iPod on shuffle and I'll be like, this is a song for her, and I'll have to like jot it down because it just epitomizes who you are without having to land on like a catchphrase or like an ideal. It's just a mood, and I feel like that's one of the best ways that you can really bring a character life is through the mood.
You're absolutely right. I actually have a playlist in my Google Play that's just songs that were meant to inspire quick stories of NPCs that eventually a party would come in contact with, one at a time, not all at the same time.
Sure.
But there were some there was just some songs from various different genres, and each one is like, oh, I hear the story behind. It's exactly what it is, right? Oh, I hear the story behind that. Oh, I can hear the action movie, like I could hear the movie or the what's happening in the room at that time. Of course the players will mess that all up and they will never do it, but
Yeah, of course.
but you know, I can have fun imagining and writing the guy. So yeah, so that's definitely fun.
Yeah.
And then I'll be honest, my daughter
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Rebecca has been there with me when I DM'd last year when I filled in for a DM, an absentee DM. So I was trying to I was making up the entire story on the fly. And we took a quick break. And she comes over, she's like, and she starts whispering to me, she's like, Daddy, I think because there were vampire spawns that that the characters chased off. And he's like, I think they should come back and say that they were just trying to deliver them a message. I'm like, okay, and what would the message be? That they're in trouble. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I thought about it, and I didn't implement it exactly that way, but close to it. And you know, she's done that more than once with helping me with stuff. She just helped me outline an escape room for Long Island Tabletop.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she's like, oh, I like that story. And then they went in here, and I'm like, oh, that's good. So she was helping me write it. I will take inspiration from her. She's got a good imagination.
Yeah. I mean, there's really inspiration everywhere you look, and that's kind of the amazing thing. Like, it playing D&D gives you an appreciation for, like, all the mundane little things, like mannerisms that people have. It's everywhere. It's so great.
We just did a food challenge over the weekend. She picked a color, I picked a color. We could only eat that color for a day.
Wow.
Oh, that's random.
Yeah, she saw it on YouTube.
Gotcha.
One of the people she follows, and she didn't show me the video first. We just did it. I picked orange, she picked yellow, and at first I thought I was rocking it because I had Cheetos.
Oh my gosh.
But then I realized that there's no breakfast food and no ice cream, except for orange sherbet. That's how that whole thing came about, by the way. Oh, so you missed that, Kim.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Orange sherbet makes me gag.
Oh.
I mean, literally makes me gag. And someone paid $30 for me to eat a spoonful of orange sherbet on Sunday.
Yay, money raising.
It was gross. It was like disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
that's terrible.
It was
Sorry.
so gross.
I think that was one of my favorite parts of the stream. Was you literally gagging with it not even near you yet, knowing that it was on the counter was enough. It was so great.
Gross.
Too much.
Brian, you are correct. Brown is the color that you need because steak is brown, hamburgers are brown,
Whiskey is brown.
whiskey's
There you
brown, yeah.
Brownies are
Scotch
brown.
is brown. I have my Scotch with
Brownies.
Scotch whiskey, same thing. Brownies
Yeah.
are brown.
Chocolate ice cream.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love chocolate ice cream.
Pretzels.
So
Yeah,
next time,
that's a good choice. Brown.
so next time my daughter's already made up a bunch of file cards and put the colors on it, folded it up, and we're gonna pick next week. I have her for a few days, and we're gonna do it for one day. We'll go shopping.
Oh, that's cute.
And we'll do it. But that gave me an idea for some level of games in D&D that nobles may play.
Oh,
So I'm not there yet. That one I can't speak of yet
okay.
because I'm not finished.
That sounds mysterious.
Yes, but I things that we do, we just
Sure. Very cool.
yeah, very cool. I like it. So
Interesting.
before we move on,
Okay.
I just want to point out that we do have a review section, and we've reviewed something at the beginning of the month, and we'll be getting ready to review something else again. Last week we had Dice Geeks on, and I just want to point out that I picked up the Book of Random Tables
Yes.
quests that he just put in, and that he just put out, and I picked it up because I like random quests, and I will read through this book, and I don't know if I'll be ready next Thursday, but within a week or two, I'll present it for a review. good, bad, or ugly. I mean, I don't think it's going to be bad at all. I'm just saying in general.
I'm excited. I'm going to borrow it once you're done with it.
That's fine. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to some of these are going to be rumors that I'm going to use, and I love it.
Ooh, I like that.
Well, that's really what an adventure hook is, right?
Yeah.
Someone hears a rumor, then you go on it and you don't. Maybe this will inspire me. Ha ha!
Whoa. Whoa. Bringing it back.
Hey, listen, everything has to come back to the topic,
Full
right?
circle, absolutely.
We never go off on tangents. I just want to point that out.
Never once.
Never once have we been on a
Scout's
tangent.
honor.
We've been on like 3 tonight alone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well.
I do have a question. What service do you use for podcasting?
Podcast Addict is my podcast app of choice. If you're referring to how I host my podcast, Service Desk is on pinecast.com.
Pinecast.
But I will probably be solidifying that over to Squarespace in the near future. Because they don't have a very good website, and I tried to set up a Google site, and that's kind of trashy, so yeah.
Yeah, they got it.
Wow.
What was the, hold on, I'm going to pull it up from last week. I'm asking because I'm just trying to, we're going to, over time, we'd like to download the weekly word into,
Podcast format?
to podcast format, right? Because,
Sure.
the videos are there. It's really easy for me to just extract the audio, and a lot of this is audio anyway. We don't show too much off, except when I hold up the book and go, hey, look what I bought. But other than that, because I'd love to see somebody look down at their radio and go, what? Oh, damn it. But Libsyn podcast hosting.
They are expensive, and I don't think they're necessarily a good choice anymore, unless you're like some of the top tier and need a lot of their super detailed analytics.
Got it. So your software is Podcast Addict.
Yes, that's how I listen, but that's not a...
Oh, okay, got it.
That's not a hosting. I wasn't sure if you were referring to how I listen or how I host.
Oh, yeah. So Pinecast, but you're going to Squarespace, you said.
Yep, Squarespace, you can have a website, but if you already have the website piece, really all you need is somewhere to host your RSS feed. I know that Podbean is particularly good with the hosting. I don't know what their prices are at the moment. Pinecast is good for just the hosting if that's what you need. It's like $5 a month, or you can get a single one for free. I don't know what the limitations are on that exactly. Otherwise, Fireside FM is another choice that I've, another path. The t-shirt I'm wearing right now, those boys use Fireside FM, and yeah.
Got it. I got them all. I'm saving all of them for later.
Brian Bridges says, in audio format, no one will get to see Kim's 50-gallon thermos.
As big as my head.
Well, actually, we can. You want to just really quickly describe Kim's 50-gallon thermos, so that way now they don't have to see it.
Well, she just covered it. It's as big as her head.
It is. So Kim has got a gallon of. We're gonna go with caffeinated iced tea.
Okay.
Because we all need caffeine.
Sure, why not?
And the thermos she's drinking out of is literally bigger than my head.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So.
It used to say Coca-Cola. It's pretty faded now, but it's actually only half a gallon. Thank you very much.
All right.
It's
It's got very thick walls. Like the walls inside are yay thick.
Oh, wow.
Got it.
So,
I was going to say, that looks bigger than half a gallon.
Thanks, Brian. I got that. I took Podbean's info also.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I got a lot. This is just all a bunch of head kids. Brian says your head's huge.
yes. Well, it should be. I'm better than him.
I hear a war starting. Brian, would you like to come on? Would you like to come on the show in October and
Review
fire
my
back?
claims. No, actually, Brian does all the original music for LCP D&D, and
Wow.
it's amazing. And
Very
there's
cool.
no way I could even come close to his level. So,
So you're saying he's got a little head.
yes.
Now I want to see this now.
Actually, you can see us on Saturday. We're going to be over on So Chatty with Maddie.
Oh, okay.
So Maddie Games
Oh,
Okay.
very cool.
on Twitch.
Awesome.
Can't believe Erica won those dice.
I know. Wild.
Bitch. I mean, no, good for her. Good for her.
Do we know which style she ended up getting?
The Halloween.
There are 3 Halloween styles.
I have no idea then.
All right.
Yes,
That'll be an exciting thing to find out.
I will. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I?
We have one final topic to cover tonight.
Wow.
Mhm.
We're moving along.
I know.
I blame you.
Succinct.
Succinct?
Yes.
It's a nice word.
Hmm. So this topic is about positivity.
Ugh,
Something you know nothing about.
that's right. Know nothing about being positive. I'm the most anti-person ever.
The topic is to make the D&D community more positive. What does it take to build a more positive D&D community, both locally and online? And this is brought to us by D&D Elise,
That's correct.
who reached out to us last week about reviewing a D&D supplement.
Oh, that was her?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even, you know what? I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I've
Yes.
had this topic on our topic board for about a month now.
That's
I saw
awesome.
I saw her tweet and I was like, oh, I like that. And whenever I see a tweet of a topic that I can have a discussion about, I just save it and come back to it.
Cool.
So this one's been out there, and I thought this one actually I thought of you when I saw this one because generally with all the stuff that all the like the crazy situations, you're an incredibly positive person, and every day you post something or a question that gets people thinking. I know I do. I read it, and even when I don't answer, I sit there and go, huh, yeah, he's a lot better at this than I am, this thing called life. So.
Well, I thanks, I guess. That's an odd compliment. I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, you are you are very positive.
Yes.
Haven't met you in person, haven't talked to you now here, and then just interacting with you on Discord and on Twitter. So, you give off a positive vibe. So, in your opinion, what do you believe it takes to build a more positive community, locally and online?
Well, I mostly know online. Locally, it takes. Well, okay, I'll start with online. It takes standing up to the people who are not being positive and who are trying to tear down whatever, whether it's women in gaming or they really don't like the combat system in D&D 5e and they're just being a super negative Nancy about it, just talking about how crappy it is and how can you have a bonus action and an action and like I've seen people complain about everything. Like,
yeah.
If you feel like tearing things apart, you can find it. You can always find somewhere where it's like, this is a terrible rule, I don't understand why we do it this way, or whatever. But that doesn't help. That doesn't get anywhere. If you're just constantly talking about how terrible the thing is, people are going to think you don't like it.
Yeah.
And most of the people I see who are doing that do like it. Like, they enjoy the game, or they enjoy at least aspects of it. Maybe there's a piece of this particular game or a piece of this particular character building idea or something that they don't like. But when you dwell on those things, A, people don't think that you like the thing anymore. B, people tend to turn off. Like, if you are the one that's constantly out there just saying all of the negative things, those are going to be the people that run away from you. So, A, if you don't like something, either be proactive about it or shut up. It's pretty simple. Like, if you have a thing to say, you say it once. And if you have multiple groups, you need to say it too. That's a whole different thing. But
well, you get each group is once. I get it.
Yes. Like, if you're in a Discord community and then you go join another Discord community and you have to say to both of them that you don't like a thing, that's fine. But if you're just constantly like, ah, oh, this is the worst thing ever, and I don't understand why, I can't even think of a thing to complain about right now.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You see? I told you.
That's funny.
But, if you want to get out there and find the bad things in the world, you'll find them. They will always find you, actually. Like, just this week, all the bad news in the world that has happened. And, like, we've had a lot of people in our I'm also a pastor's wife. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. But you see a lot of bad things that happen. And I've seen the people who dwell and the people who get stuck on the negative, and that's all they do.
Yes.
And they're miserable.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's no way to live life. If you're just constantly thinking of how bad things are, it's not easy to flip yourself to be more positive thinking. It is not an easy thing if you're used to just dwelling in the negativity. And sometimes you have to, shut people off.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah. It's always hard. But yes, sometimes you just need to do that. Because you can't dwell in negativity. But it's difficult too, right? Mm-hmm. It's difficult because you could be a positive person one minute and then a not positive person another minute, and you didn't do anything different, but you're not quite sure why. So even figuring out sometimes how to get from where you are to where you need to be is difficult.
Introspection is not something that the world at large is good at.
No. Yes, that's true.
And a lot of times trying to figure out why you're like super negative about a thing requires you to think about why you're thinking that way.
Yeah. Yes.
People don't like that.
Yes.
It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. What about you?
How do I think that positivity could bloom or get bigger in our community?
Yeah.
People could be more accepting of other people.
What if you hate everybody like I do?
Well, I don't know how you're going to play a social game if you hate everyone.
No, it's not that I don't. It's not that I hate them. I just don't want them to live anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wait, that's
the perfect DM.
I mean, that's their characters.
Yeah. Wow. But I mean, it's true. That we all need to be a little bit more patient with other people. But I think you also need to be willing to identify the things that you want out of the experience and focus on getting those things for yourself. And sometimes that does mean letting go of things that aren't what you want, So you got to be more picky, but also you got to let your shoulders drop a little bit, loosen up. You got to stop being so anxious and focused on the very specific things. It's too easy to get worked up over things that really shouldn't affect you. You see it online a lot. How you were saying, a lot of negative people. You see a lot of that online, and sometimes just ignoring it goes a long way.
Yeah, it's true, and
not giving a platform to negativity is another thing. Stop amplifying it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think definitely. I go through it with work. I go through it at work. Right? We get worked up over such small things. Whenever, I mean, this.
Sorry, we had an issue with our coffee maker. We have coffee pots and we have a Keurig machine because there are some people who do not like the coffee that is provided for them and they bring their own.
Wow.
Totally fine, whatever. The Keurig wasn't working. Oh my God.
Well, at least you still have a Keurig. They took ours away. So they took ours away, and now we get really, really bad coffee. But they provide it for free. So somebody took an article that was posted by, I don't know who, but it was a newspaper article, and the newspaper article says that employees should be grateful that we get coffee at all. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The cost of our benefits goes up every single year, and we should be grateful that you give us free coffee. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'm good with that.
Uh-huh.
No. So finally, we made them take it down because that was a horrible article to put up. We had
Yeah, mm.
we had
Yeah, that's
Corrigs. They took our Corrigs away. Now only HR gets Corrigs. What?
Nothing.
You okay?
Yeah. Was there a child in the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
I really, that was like a horror moment for a second because it's just been you and us this whole time, and then suddenly there was a figure behind you.
See,
Yeah,
I
sorry,
told
that was my 7-year-old coming to say goodnight.
Oh, that's very sweet.
how awesome. That's
And
first of all,
not
that's awesome.
terrifying.
First of all, that's awesome. But how cool would that be on the door?
Oh my gosh, no, no, I refuse.
That'd be so awesome. I have a bad habit of scaring the hell out of everybody in my office because I can walk up to their cube. I'm not even trying. I walk up to the cube and they're so intent. So I'll stand there for a couple of seconds and I go, "What are you doing?" And they'll jump out of their skin and they'll scream, and then I'll just walk away because I don't really need to be there. There's no reason for me to be there. My little enjoyments of the day, just little.
You need them.
Hey, listen, they're gonna go to Atlantic City for on a girls' night. I'm like, I'm not going. I mean, obviously, I'm not invited. That's not fair. So I scare them.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's fine. Yeah.
That might be why you're not invited.
It's true. Ah, Brian says you got a haunted closet.
Kim's
Yes.
haunted closet. Love it.
You sure that was your 7-year-old? So, I again, a little bit along the lines of positivity and building a better community. You see all these the use of pronouns, and people throw it. They throw them around, right? You should do this, or you shouldn't do that, or you need to do this, or ignorance is wrong. And a few episodes, about a month and a half ago, there was an episode where I admit it wasn't actually, it was last month when we had
Robin.
we had Robin on, and I admit it. It's not that I'm not. I just ignorance sometimes is bad, right? And so I came across a tweet, and this has been one of the best ways to say this, and it's just so simple. Basically, Bucky Carbon says, "Here's the thing: having pronouns in my bio normalizes the practice and makes the whole process safer for those who it actually matters most. If I can do something so small to make someone feel safer and accepted, absolutely I'm going to do it." So what he says normalizes the practice, and I think that's the key to creating a better community. We need to figure out what the good practices are and make them normal. And just do them. Don't force them. Just do it and constantly do it until eventually it catches on and everybody's doing it. And then demand it of those around you. And if they can't do it, maybe you need to move on.
Sure.
So I read that. I'm like, it's so succinct that it's perfect. It was perfect. So I went and I updated the LR Terrain bio to put he, him, but I'm thinking it's an organization. I should have put it. But I'm going to leave it he, him until I actually make my own.
Yeah, which is up next, right?
Yes, that actually is on my list of things to do because I probably next week.
Yeah.
Yay,
Well,
personal Twitter.
Yeah. So that wraps up the topics segment for tonight's episode. We're gonna move into my favorite section.
What are we?
What are we?
What are we?
What
we are.
Yes. So Kim, we're gonna start off with you. First, what are you watching, reading, or listening to? Any one particular thing?
Oh gosh. I wasn't prepared for this. I just finished She-Ra.
Ooh.
on Netflix last night.
Okay.
Finally got through the 3rd season.
Nice.
That was a trip and a half.
Oh, really?
It's so. One thing that I have learned is that I really enjoy children's programming in like YA novels and stuff.
Yeah.
I got into YA because at the time my son Jonah, my 12-year-old, was 3, 4-ish, and I had a part-time job and I was bored. And I was like, I need something to entertain myself because I can't just focus on children's whatever all the time.
Sure.
But I couldn't read, like, Moby Dick because
Right.
I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And he was running around and I was just like, I can't read my normal novels. So I got into YA. And I was like, you know what? These are actually really good stories and you don't have to worry about there being a lot of, like, nastiness. Like, there might be violence and there might be some sexual content, but it's not, like, I read, what's the one, the Lady with the Dragon Tattoo, I think it is, where it's like, all of a sudden it's like
gratuitous,
sexual violence. And I was like,
yeah.
whoa, I was not prepared. And so I got into watching children's programming, and they've got a lot of really good stuff. And sometimes it gets a little cheesy, but, I really appreciate the moral stories, because sometimes I think adults need it too.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey. So on that thread, have you watched Hilda yet on Netflix?
What's this?
Oh, you have. If you like it, you've got to try Hilda. It is just one of the most charming cartoons I've seen in a long time. In just the right amount. It's still whimsical. There's definitely a moral there, but it's still whimsical enough that it doesn't feel like they're beating you over the head with it. It's so good.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I mentioned it to you.
Yeah, no, it's on my list.
Yeah.
It is on my list. There's a show. Unfortunately, it's not streaming because Nick doesn't stream anywhere normal. But it's a show on Nickelodeon called The Loud House. It's a cartoon.
Oh, yes.
So you're familiar with it, right?
My children watch it all the time.
I watch it all the time. I watch it even without my daughter. But I got my daughter into it, and we watch it. We watch Gumball, too. But we watch The Loud House, and I think, talking about normalizing, that takes real life now situations and just normalizes it. It's just, they don't emphasize it. It just is. As if it's all normal. And I like the way they handle a lot of it.
Yeah.
So...
Well, in She-Ra, Dragon Prince and She-Ra, both. They both have sets of parents who are of same gender.
Right.
And it just is. It is what it is. It's like, this is so awesome.
Right.
This needs to be the way it is. And it doesn't need to be a huge blow up because, oh my gosh, there's 2 men kissing. Like, cool.
Absolutely.
Fine. Whatever.
Like back to the Loud House, Clyde's dad's. Right? And I was there. I got to see my daughter see that for the first... And she didn't even blink, which was great. It didn't even blink. It just, to her, it just is. It's just normal.
It's kind of amazing. It really is like a different world.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I think it's for the better.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So...
How about you? What are you watching, reading, or listening to?
I am rereading the Rhaenyra Chronicles by Michael J. Sullivan.
Okay.
Royce and Hadrian, characters of Royce and Hadrian, sometimes there's a little violence, but there's nothing in there that I wouldn't let my daughter listen to or read.
Awesome.
So, yeah, and I find these books awesome. I like the characters, Royce and Hadrian. Royce is an assassin. Hadrian is like... he would be like a neutral good fighter, right? And they're forced to pair up so that they rub off on each other. One, because he's not wise in the way of the world, and the assassin needs to be more human. So I'm rereading that, the Rhaenyra Chronicles, and Tim Gerard Reynolds reads it, and I like the way he changes. Like I like the some of the stuff he does.
His vocal intonation.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Definitely some of the characters.
That's cool.
Before we jump on, Sean Lilly used D&D Beyond for the first
Sean.
time to make a character. It costs only $40. There's a PC insurance I can buy from them. This is their PC insurance. Interesting.
That's funny. I didn't know there was a fee associated with it.
With D&D Beyond, yeah.
Really?
Well, if you
I was
want to
invited to a
use,
game, so maybe that's how I got away with
Yes,
not being
if
oh
charged.
yes,
they've already paid for it.
hmm
Ooh, yay, lucky me.
So
Wow, that's a little pricey, actually.
it's the
Is it a one time? Is that
you're basically buying the books.
okay?
uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
You have access to what you buy.
That's a lot more affordable than those books are, let me tell you.
No, that $40 is for one.
Oh,
That's
all
for
right.
the PHB,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to buy each thing that you want.
Wow.
It's the same. It's the same thing. You know what I don't? One of these things I don't like. They haven't figured out yet. If I go and I spend my money on a brick and mortar book,
Mhm.
you got to give me some credit towards a digital copy.
Mm.
It's so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. That they don't have a code or anything like that
Yeah.
is frustrating.
It's not. It's not
Mhm.
right. Like if it costs nothing,
Mm.
To
right?
distribute yeah.
Right.
Well, it costs them not being able to sell a digital copy, right?
If D&D Beyond was $15 a month
Mm-hmm.
subscription, and it only cost me $5 to get their digital books, I would have a $15 a month subscription,
Hmm.
and they would end up making more money in the long run.
I don't know if I could get behind a subscription, another one. I have
So
like two subscriptions, and I refuse to buy into another one.
No, and I understand that. I
But
do.
there are plenty of people who would.
But
Absolutely.
if they did a DM subscription at $14.99 a month and a player subscription
Ooh.
at like $3 a month,
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how Roll20 does it.
right?
Yeah.
They would make a lot more money in the long run, and then just and $5 for a digital book,
Mm.
it doesn't cost them anything.
Yeah.
It's
Well, the
digital.
problem is that D&D Beyond and Roll20 and places like that aren't actually part of Wizards of the Coast.
I know. Yes.
So they have to pay all the fees for all of the copies that are being
Yes.
used,
Yeah.
and it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I know.
It's all about
I
the
get that.
licensing.
Yeah, I get that. Get over it. Ha.
As for me, I'm going to cheat a little bit and talk about what I've been playing. I've been playing
Cheater.
a adorable game on
Of
my
Smurfs.
Xbox called Lovers in a Dangerous Time Space.
Oh, we've beaten that.
It is so fun.
Yeah.
I'm having such a good time playing. There are moments of really like a lot of excitement and like pride, and me and my boyfriend are like on board together, and then there are moments where we're like, how could you do that?
Yeah, we beat that.
It's so much fun. It's really brought like a joy back to video gaming.
I mean, have you found the laser mace? Have you put together the laser
The
mace?
laser mace.
Yeah.
No.
Because that's all my daughter will ever use.
I'll tell you what, my power weapon now is a metal gem with a power gem on the shield. Oof, boy,
Yes.
so good. It's got those three like
Yes.
mace
Yeah,
ends,
That
and you can just spin
yeah.
it, and it still gets them, because that's the most frustrating part about using that shield, is that if you move the shield, it no longer works. But this metal gem,
Still gets them. Yeah,
Oof.
I love them. Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
So,
it is a lot of fun.
check that game out. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
And you can play with up to 4 players, which is great.
It's actually infinitely easier with 4 players.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But you need at least 3.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just been
And
Alex
never
and
let-
I, and who?
Never let Rebecca
challenge.
drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Have you tried all the ships yet?
No, we have not unlocked anything
Oh, got
in
it.
terms of ships yet. We've got the one.
All right.
We'll get there. We'll get
It's
there.
fun. You'll get there.
Yeah. So, Kim, I hate to put you on the spot again, but we're going to. There's one more section that's just for you, and we're going to ask you what you didn't say no to. So you got to share something that you said yes to, whether for better or worse. Usually for better. Let's make it positive, right?
Exactly.
I don't.
In the last week?
No, at any time
Whenever
in your
you
life.
want. Yeah.
Oh, well, the Beholder's Eye, I suppose, and LCP D&D and this show, and all of the things that I get invited to do that are so much fun.
That's cool.
And you just don't say no.
I have a really hard time.
So keep that in mind.
Like, my schedule is basically what prohibits me from doing all the things I want to do. Which
Yeah.
I'm a full-time working mom with 2 children, so that's pretty tight to begin with.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
It's always
It's been
fun.
really cool.
You guys are a great couple of people to talk to, so
Nice.
I enjoy it.
Thanks.
Nice. I'm glad people can talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Thank God.
That's true. That's true. Next week we have
Silence bubble.
who do we have next week? Next week I think we have oh my God, David O'Miller.
Really? Very
Yes.
exciting.
Next week is David O'Miller. For those who don't know David O'Miller did a lot of the artwork for Dragon Magazine in the 80s and 90s. And still does artwork for various different things. I don't know where our stuff is. Anyway, we could do our plugs.
And then after that, we have Remy Schaefer, who is...
Did you put him in here?
Yes, he's the co-host of the Magnificent Whispers podcast, the Sexually Active podcast, and soon to be the Story of Eston, which is a D&D live play, actual play. So very exciting.
What's his name?
Remy Schaefer.
Because she didn't actually put him in here.
No, I guess not. Oops.
That's all right. I just did.
That's what I have you for.
That's right. We're good. We're good.
So, quick notes and plugs. Kim, would you like to tell our audience where they can find you?
Absolutely. I'm in, all the places you can find me at Metzgirl, which you can see on the screen right there. The Twitter and Tumblr and a lot of Discords. But as far as hearing me, I have Service Desk podcast, in which I attempt to explain technology to the not so technically savvy. I have a co-host, Andrew.
Sorry.
And we just do little 30-ish minute podcasts in which we try to explain some kind of technology of some form. So that's really fun, and that comes out every other Monday. Then every Monday, I am on Beholder's Eye as a player with the crew there. Zalara, my wood elf monk, is still alive somehow. She's died a couple of times, but so it goes. Yay, D&D, it's real fun. And then I'm currently doing a long-term guest appearance over on LCP D&D. That's every other Thursday. The most recent episode just dropped today, actually.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, Alavari is real fun. She's my... Yes, and if you throw a rock, you'll probably find me on the internet.
Yes,
I try
like
to be omnipresent as much as I possibly can.
Hey, omnipresent's awesome.
And then occasionally I pop up over on Welcome to the Party, although I haven't been able to be active there on regular streams for a while. But I'm on their Twitter, so,
That's
if
all that
you
matters.
see something weird from there, it's probably me.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Kim.
So, if you want us to review something, you can leave a comment here or email us at socialmedia@lrhobbies.com. Upcoming reviews will be covering the board game called Black Angel, which was released this year. And later on in the season, we'll be reviewing Through the Veil, which is a Feywild themed D&D 5e supplement.
By D&D Elise. Okay. And we will also be, not on that list, we'll be reviewing the Book of Random Tables, Quests, by Matt Davids, a.k.a. Dice Geeks. So I picked that up, and I plan on reading through it, and then I'll hand it over to you. And then we can wait to review it until after you have a chance to read through it, too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Right. So how are we going to do Black Angel board game together?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. We'll play it together.
All right.
I have it in my apartment.
All right. Cool.
Octocon Gaming Convention is coming up October 19th and 20th. It's going to be at the Bethpage Library on Saturday from 9 to 5 and on Sunday from 10 to 4.
Keep an eye out for the new programming on the Long Island Tabletop Twitch and YouTube channels. Details are coming soon. As soon as I can create the details, I will spoon them out to everybody. So if you have thoughts or ideas on what would make a good show, by all means, throw them my way.
Links for all the subjects we covered tonight
my line.
are in the video description. Oh, it was.
It says my initials.
I started scrolling as I started
It's okay.
reading, so that's my defense.
If you like the topics we discussed today, please like the video and click subscribe and hit the bell, so that way you can come back and be reminded of when we do another show, or put up another video, or do something else crazy, or something. If you would like to be a guest on the Weekly Word, direct message me on Twitter at LRTerrain, or email me directly at rich.parla@lrhobbies.com. We are currently booking October. Yeah. So we are also not here. We are also going to be participating in the November Extra Life Thread Raiders charity. And that should be a lot of fun. I don't know what I'm going to do next time, but it's not going to be burgers. It's going to be something different.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at LRTrain, on Instagram at Legendary Realms Games. You can become a Patreon by finding us at patreon.com/theweeklyword. I'm Morgan West.
I am Rich Parla. That's you, Kim.
Oh, and I'm Kim Metzger.
And we have a patron. So
Huzzah!
we need more. Join. It's only $1. Now Morgan get 1 water a month. That's all she's allowed.
All right. I'll have to ration myself per episode. I get 1/4 of a bottle of water per episode.
Oh, man. Excellent.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, you will. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Until then.